Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Passion Projects. We are enjoying our 10K YouTube subscriber special. So, welcome back to Passion Projects. I am going to try my best to make this a really fun celebration of 10K subscribers. I got a lot of things lined up for you. I'm going to just answer some intro questions that y'all have had. I'm going to have to answer some viewer calling questions. We're going to be reacting to some best of moments so far from the podcast and talking about what's next for the channel. I mean, just a whole bunch of stuff. But first of all, before we get into any of that, I do just want to say, I do just want to say and give a massive thank you so much. Thank you so much to each and every one of you that has subscribed to the channel. I cannot believe that in 2 months we have gone from it was 80, 78, 80 subscribers all the way to 10,000? What? What? So let's just take a second. Hey, thank you so much. Yeah, without further ado, let's jump into some topics that I want to talk about. Alrighty, y'all. The first thing that I was really excited to just kind of chat about with y'all and have a little bit of conversation is how 2025 is almost over. What? This year, I mean, other years in the past have flown by pretty quickly, but for some reason, 2025 has just, it has just zoomed on out of here, and I don't really quite know what to make of that. I don't know if it's the fact that I'm getting older and I'm experiencing time more quickly. I don't know if it's the fact that everyone's feeling this way about 2025, but for some reason, that thing has just flown by because we only have, what's it today? I'm recording this on Friday the 12th. Oh gosh, that means we have 19 days left of December and then it's 2026. Crazy. I'm appreciative of what's happened in 2025. This has been an awesome year of personal development and growth and mental clarity and learning about how to kind of fill the role of being a fiance and then soon to be a husband, and I've enjoyed that a lot. It's been really cool, but I don't know where this year's gone. I feel like I blink. Every time I blink, it's been 2 weeks and then the next month's appeared. You know what I mean? Just what's up with that? But I also wanted to kind of just chat for a second about how close my wedding is getting. I believe as of today, we are 92 days out. And then as of the release of this video, we'll be at 85 days till I'm getting married. Now, I proposed way back in January. That was 11 months ago yesterday. That was a long time ago. We've been engaged for a minute now. So it's nice to have this feeling that things are finally starting to get here. I'm just so ready to be able to call Abby my wife and live with her and enjoy all the things that come with marriage and can have that lifelong supportive ups and downs and bond that comes just with all that. It's yeah, I mean 90 something days away. That's not that far. Got my bachelor party coming up January 9th through 11th. Get to hang out with the boys, play some golf, go to a bowling alley, have some fun, just have a nice chill fun weekend. We're going outside of Asheville. Going a little bit north to go outside of Asheville, and yeah, I mean, that'll just be a fun time. I'm really excited for all the things that are coming. But yeah, I just want to touch for a second and talk about how cool this experience has been. It's been fun being engaged, but we've been engaged long enough that I feel like, okay, let's do this, let's get married. So another thing that I wanted to touch on, just kind of briefly, here are the 3 biggest things that I've learned growing a YouTube channel to 10,000 subscribers. In the past, the best I've ever done, I'll put it on the screen. I'll try to put it over here. Adam Wall Music. I am also a musician, and I grew that account to a little over 4,000 subscribers. I had one video that happened to blow up to 200 and something thousand views, and yeah, gained a lot of subscribers from that. So that was crazy. But I kind of my content with that just kind of petered out. I didn't have the mental ability to stay consistent with that, and that caused me to just burn out and I didn't post on it for a while. But coming on passion projects and with this idea and theme that I had and everything that I wanted around it, I knew that if I wanted to reach something like 10K, get to 10K subscribers, that uh, I couldn't have that happen. So even though I would have loved my music account to take off, and that have been what I did for YouTube and as social media and become a musician, I believe that I had to go through that burnout, go through that time of practically giving up to realize that it takes not giving up to get to another stage in your social media, YouTube, recording, all those kind of things, that kind of career. And so that's the first thing that I really learned going to 10K is that consistency is the most important thing. If you want to grow on social media, you just have to be consistent. And now I'm very, very lucky and put myself in a position where I've had the chance to grow in this time frame. But I was posting videos from the beginning of June until now, every single day. And I didn't even start seeing any of my accounts blowing up per se until the beginning of November. So I posted every day, sometimes 2 or 3 times a day, June, July, August, September, and October for 5 months before I ever saw any consistent habitual growth. Some people post for a week and they have 10,000 subscribers. Some people post every day for a year and they don't even have but a couple hundred. But consistency is the one of the only things that has allowed me to get to where I am right now with YouTube. Consistency, and then iterating and improving on what I'm doing every single time. Thinking critically about those posts so that when I post the next one, it's not just the same thing over and over. You can see this even with my the debt-free challenge videos. They are, it is a lot of times it is a very, 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 very similar video, but I try to do something a little bit different that's a little bit better every time. And sometimes I'm conscious of that, and sometimes I'm even not conscious of that because that's just what I've embodied doing. But with staying consistent and having a constant thirst for improvement on what you're doing, you're going to hit your goals eventually. If you're a YouTuber, if you want to do social media, I think you need to drill it into your head, go and say, okay, I have to do this as consistently as I can, whether that's every 3 days, every 2 days, once a week. I have to do this as consistently as I can for as long as I can. And that is what's going to drive this growth, this community, this engagement, all of those things. Which leads me to my next point that you actually have to believe. You have to believe that this will change your life. You have to believe that you can actually achieve the goal that you're setting out to do. That is one of the biggest things that I think I struggle with when I was doing Animal Music and other channels that I may have created over the past, whether that's video game content, music content, life vloggy stuff, is that I didn't actually believe in myself. And sometimes I still struggle with that. But I know that as soon as I started this idea, I knew that I was going to do this until I got to the goal that I had. And first of all, that goal was just to grow this and to make YouTube social media into my full-time job. And while it is not my full-time job yet, I'm at the brink of starting to make a little bit of money from it. So I think a lot of that just is self-belief and believing that it is possible for you to also do that. Yeah, like I said, that's something I really struggle with, but for some reason there was just something that clicked inside my brain in the last 6 months to where I went from, I don't know if I can do this, I don't know if this is sustainable, I don't know if this is for me, to I will do this no matter what it takes. I don't care if it takes 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 years. I'm going to keep doing this until I get what I'm looking for. And thank God, thank you, Jesus, that it's taken 5, 6 months instead of 10 years. But I'm telling you right now, this is something that would have happened regardless of whether it was 2 weeks or 2 years, because I was gonna do it. This is the path that God sent me down, and I know that. And I don't know exactly where He's leading me down right now. I don't know exactly what each day has in store, but but there is this feeling inside me that it's possible. And it's possible because I'm going to work for it and I'm going to get it. And I think you have to have that if you want to be successful with social media, which I kind of already touched on this a little bit. But my third thing I wanted to talk about is you must think this is long term. You just must. There's no way around it. You just have to think about it long term. You cannot expect to post videos for 2 weeks every 3 days and to actually succeed on these social media platforms. You have to be willing and want to genuinely enjoy long term, consistently believing in yourself, posting, learning, improving. And I think if you mix all three of those things, consistency, self belief, and understanding that it won't happen overnight, I think if you do all three of those things, you have quite a cocktail for success on social media. All right, for our next segment, we're going to be answering some viewer call-in questions. So actually to get these questions, what I did is I entered a stage on my Discord and invited people to come up and ask questions. And even though I kind of sort of gave a little bit of an answer on Discord the other day, I saved the full answer for today's video. So without further ado, let's jump right into it.
Yeah. My question for you is, what did you major in that got you in that much debt?
That is that's a really good question. Um, yeah, I mean, $21,000 of student loan debt. That is a big number for sure. It's a big number, but I'm not, naive enough to or not recognize that there's people that have, 100, 150, $200,000 of student loan debt. So in comparison to my 20,000, that doesn't sound like that much. I'm sorry, in comparison to their 150,000, 20,000 doesn't sound like that much. But it's still $20,000 that I got to pay back. And to answer that question, I went to a small private Christian college in Johnson City, Tennessee, called Milligan University. So for anyone that's old enough to recognize that private Christian, you put those two together with university, that typically means it's a pretty penny. Yeah, so tuition at Milligan when I was there, it's gone up more since then, but tuition when I was there was right at 40,000 a year. That's a lot. I was blessed enough to get a little bit of academic scholarship and also blessed enough to get a cross country and track scholarship, which paid for close to half of that. But yeah, I mean, thank God my parents were able and willing to pay for a decent portion of that. But the rest of that is what I'm left to pay. So I'm left with $21,486, which is now, as of today, $12,874 left back that I owe. But I mean, I guess the gist of it is that I went to a private Christian out of state university, and those aren't cheap. Yeah, I mean, it's not like I was in some major that was crazy. I was an education major for 3 years. And then after COVID hit and I realized that wasn't the life path that I wanted to go down, I ended up with a history degree. So 4 years of, you know, a lot of money adds up and you got to pay it back. Now, a question that I've juggled with a lot, especially in the last 1 to 2 years, is if I could go back to 17-year-old Adam, would I do that again? And I don't know the answer to that because I think even 10 years ago when I was, looking to colleges and um, there was still very much the sentiment of if you don't go to college, you won't get a good paying job, meaning you won't have a successful career, meaning you won't ever have much money. And I really think that feeling and sentiment has definitely died down a good bit in that time frame from like 2015 to 2025, 26. Thankfully, I think way too many people go to college these days. I don't think everyone needs it. I think there's a lot more jobs in the trades that could be more lucrative more quickly for a lot of people in that 18 to 25 age bracket. But if I could go back and do it again, I don't. I don't know. I don't know. I don't think I would have. But then at the same time, I hear myself saying that and go, but some of the best friends that I made my entire life came from college. So would I just delete them from my life? No. But would I have gotten my parents to spend that much? I mean, that's what they wanted for me. I didn't even know what I wanted. I had no idea what I wanted to do when I was 17 or what that meant to take out loans for that much. I didn't even know. I couldn't, my brain couldn't grasp the gravity, what all that meant. So I don't know. As a quick rant, I probably would do it again, but I just don't know. I just don't know. So that's my answer to that question.
What made you want to do like the way of doing things? Like, why did you want to like for how many likes if you have to student debt? Like, what you went to doing that?
The format of the paying day 45, paying out my student loans every single day until a year debt free and making every like, comment, or new follower always certain value that I pay towards my student loans. You can tell I've said that a couple times. Not original. I will not take credit for that. I am just using that idea and making it in my own way. But there is a creator named, this is where I saw it from. Maybe he did, maybe he took it from somebody. I don't think he did, but maybe he did. He goes by Mikey on TikTok, and I can't think of his last name, but it's in some of his other handles. And yeah, I mean, he did that to also pay off his student loans. He wanted to be debt free before he started saving up for money for his first home. And I saw that idea. I saw that it was doing very well. I thought I could make my own version of that and make my own spin on it. And that's what I did. And thank goodness that they are taking off. They are doing very well. They are what is driven my, as of right now, almost 9,000 subscribers. And yeah, I mean, I feel like I should shout him out more, but his name is, I'll put him right here. His name's Mikey. Awesome content creator. Um, he helps a lot with like helping people have financial freedom and financial understanding and literacy on all those kind of topics. But yeah, I mean, that's where the idea came from. And I know there's other creators that do similar things for likes, like likes and comments are worth a certain value for something, something, something. And I'm definitely looking for a way to iterate on this idea as we get closer to paying it off or paying or like having the series end at some point. I don't know exactly what that next step will look like, but I'll be interested to see what it turns out to be. But yeah, that's where I got the idea from. And yeah, that's what I meant.
You gotta go back in time and change one thing. What would you change?
One thing about myself, one thing about my life.
Like one thing about your life. Like if you didn't like how something turned out in your life right now, would you go back and like change something?
I know I have a previous channel on YouTube called Adam Wall Music. I have been a musician, I play guitar, I produce music, I sing. Not as much as I'd like to anymore, but that has historically been a big part of my life, and music always has been and always will be a big part of my life. But if I could go back and change one thing, I would make it so I had the wherewithal and ability to stick with Adam Wall Music um, and keep posting on there. I grew that account to over 4,000 followers pretty quickly and had an opportunity to take my dream of being a musician and make that real life. And I squandered that because I didn't have the mental capacity to consistently upload every day like I do now. I just didn't have it in me. And I burned out and I gave up on it. And I regret that. I really do. I regret that. Um, which might sound dumb and it might sound, lame, but if I could go back, I would change that. I would change it so I didn't burn out and I kept pursuing that dream. And I know that this is the path that has been laid out for me. This is what God has planned for me. And I know in my heart that God's still gonna help that dream come to reality. It's just not in the way that I'm gonna want it to be, but I know it's gonna come true. I'm still gonna be a musician that's known for being a musician somehow. I just don't know how that plan's gonna unfold yet. And that's the most interesting part. But to answer that question one more time, if I could go back and have things my way that I bring the ego into it, that's what I would change. I would make Adam Wall music have been a project that I didn't give up on. Yep. That's what I got.
If you had 9 lives, what would you use those 9 lives on?
Oh, that is such a good question. If I had 9 lives, what would I use as 9 lives on? Assuming that I didn't mean I was a cat and I was still a human that just had 9 human lives. One, okay, you really got to think though. So if you do something catastrophic here, like if you go kill baby Hitler, obviously that's your that's your first inclination, right? To go kill baby Hitler. But what happens? What changes in the timeline if you kill baby Hitler? What changes, you know? But assuming the timeline doesn't I don't ruin some international, interspace, dimensional Marvel universe time warp crap. Assuming none of that changes, I'd probably go kill baby Hitler, and I'm sure I'd die in the process somehow. That I don't know. I just use a life doing that somehow. Um, and then I do that 8 more times. No, I don't know. That's such a tough question to answer. Like I feel like there's so many ways you could iterate on that. Are those like, do I stay the same? I was born in 1999, and then whenever I die, like I, I then come back right after that for like another 8 more times consecutively. Do I get to choose the time period that I get the life? Do I have time travel, or is it just like life in sequential order? I got to know the answer to these questions. There's just too many things. But even though I won't be able to give all 9 of those, I would probably say killing baby Hitler. That's got to be one of them, right? Or maybe I wait until, even better. What if I wait until Hitler takes power and then I spend all 9 lives trying to kill Hitler, kind of like they tried to do all those assassination attempts. He had dozens of assassination attempts on him. What if those were all like, what if 9 of those were just me and I just failed 9 times, And then like, imagine you're Adolf, right? Mustache and all. And, and you see this guy that comes and tries to kill you. You watch him die. Your guards take him out. But then a week later, you see the same guy come trying to shoot you down. You're like, you were dead. I don't know how you got here again, but you were dead. And then you kill him again, like, whew, I must be seeing things, crazy coincidence. And then you do it a third time. Hitler, he doesn't know what to think. Obviously, you've thrown him for a loop. He probably thinks you're some, like, I don't know what he thinks you are. I don't want to get canceled, so I'm not going to elaborate on that thought too much. Yeah, what if you just spend all 9 lives trying to kill Hitler? That's what we're gonna go with. I'm gonna make it my 9 life promise that I will make sure Hitler doesn't do as much damage as he did. And can I get an amen for that? All right, amen. As we move into our next segment, something else that I wanted to do is just kind of take a second to look back at some of my favorite moments from the podcast this year and just give you my 3 4 5 month opinion once being removed from hearing that, and just give you like a second look at it. So we're gonna take a look first at the first podcast that I ever did with my best friends, David Depler, and kind of his thoughts on marriage. I thought it'd be pretty appropriate considering that I'm getting married soon. So, I just wanted to take a look at that. I'm sorry. I just, I can't think clearly with the light up glasses. It's hard to believe this was back in June. The podcast studio that we're filming in, what you see right here, that's actually, so David works at a church in Tennessee. And this is like their recording podcast studio that they use. Awesome lighting, awesome set, cool chairs, cool mics, really cool big like halo light. awesome, cool setup. So first of all, thank you, David, for letting us use that studio for the podcast with him, and also the podcast with my other friend Pablo Rivas. You on life has changed since getting married, because it was 2023 September 2023.
2 years ago in August or in September. Yeah.
Yeah, so we're coming up on your second
coming up
year,
on 2 years.
in
Yep.
the second year of marriage. So I knew David pre-marriage.
True.
So how do you feel like your life has changed? What have you learned, like takeaways from it, especially creatively, if you can link those
I
two
think the
together?
number one answer of like how I've changed or what I've learned is I realize how selfish I am,
Interesting.
because you live with another person.
Yeah.
And so far, you've been doing everything through your lens, and your
Mhm.
lens is always right.
It's
Because
true.
it's the
You know, when he first said this, I'd never really considered something that way. And especially to hear my friend like David say that, I thought that was very humbling for me to hear. But I also feel like that's such fantastic advice for really realistically any relationship, but especially a marriage. Um, because like we are inherently selfish beings at the end of the day, and you have to fight that selfishness. At least I know I do. Seems like David does. It seems like a lot of people I know do. So I thought that was very, very interesting to hear him say that, and like that was the advice that he gave. It's not like choose to love her every single day. It's not happy wife, happy life. It was I will consider myself to be the problem because that's what I can control and that's what I can grow. You already did the work of picking the person and making sure that was what was right for you and that was the right relationship. So David's saying, why not me be the problem instead of making you the problem? I think that's so powerful. I mean, what is more powerful than taking ownership of yourself and learning that you don't always just get to blame someone else for their shortcomings. Why not look internally and say, this is where I'm messing up. What can I do to change that? So that's pretty cool.
only
Because
lens you have.
no one's
Good
arguing
question.
with it. Yeah.
Just me? Why? But I think you can realize just how much you don't want to clean the dishes. And
Yeah.
it's always the other person who didn't clean the dishes. It's never you.
It's
Never.
never
No,
you.
it couldn't be me.
Yeah, that just furthers my point. I think that just goes to show that David's a class act. Awesome dude, looking for humility, trying to live like a Christ-centered life, and taking ownership where you can, and also giving grace where you can as well, and realizing that you're both, in a marriage, you're both just two human beings trying your best to love each other in the midst of dishes, laundry, work, eventually kids, bills, all these things. So shout out, David. You're still cool. I love you. And let's move on to the next clip. All right. The next podcast I wanted to take a moment and look at was actually my one with another very, very close friend, Bradley Bynum. And he is a music producer, very creative person, loves working on cars and Jeeps as well, does a lot of creative stuff. But he's also fantastically good at voice impressions. So I just wanted to show the opening first 2 minutes of this podcast because he was just funny. So
Mike is making me uncomfortable. So, I mean, we're sitting here, Mike's standing.
stupid joke though. I laugh, but so dumb. Hey, could you bring
What's
out
the deal?
That's the one.
Yeah,
That's the one.
We could be bees. They're taking all our honey and they're not even giving us credit. They put a bear on the bottle. Bears don't make honey, they steal honey.
Too good, man. Too good. I don't know why I can't think of his name right now, the guy he's doing the impression of, but oh my goodness, why? Hold up. Oh my God. I found it. Okay, Seinfeld. How did I not remember Seinfeld? He does the best Seinfeld impression. You just whoa, let's run this back just a little bit more.
They're taking all our honey and they're not even giving us credit. They put a bear on the bottle. Bears don't make honey, they steal honey. Your roommate is going to hear
God, I love you, Bradley. All right, let's keep going.
this and think I'm actually the craziest person alive.
Crazy. I never talked to my roommate at the time about that, but I'm sure if he did hear that, he probably thought Bradley was great. Or maybe he thought Seinfeld was there. Who knows?
If
These
you
mics
ever
feel
want to
good.
blackmail me, you have so much content to make.
I actually made a whole short with the funny cancelable clips from that podcast and put them all together, made a little compilation. So he didn't get canceled. He was fine. But God, Bradley, there's a few people. I believe there's only a few people in your life that you'll really find that no matter how long it's been, you truly can just like your belly hurts because you're laughing the whole time. Bradley's just one of those people to me where we just laugh. Like my nervous system can just go like it's safe with you, you know? Man, that guy is funny. I know that was like a brief, short little snippet, but that was, I think, by far my podcast that I've enjoyed the most, strictly for the fact that I got to like laugh nonstop for an hour and a half. So thank you, Bradley, for that. We need to hang out soon. If you're seeing this, we need to hang out soon. So the next pod that I want to do a short snippet of is actually with Sam John. Now, he's grown a good bit once again since I actually got the chance to interview him. I still can't believe I got the chance to interview him. He is an Instagram creator with, I believe, approaching 200,000 subscribers. He might have a little bit more than that, a little bit less. I'm not exactly sure at the moment. He makes just insane edits, and he does it all on his phone on CapCut Mobile. Crazy. But he really gave me a lot of insight into artistry as a whole and kind of a different way to approach artistry and a different perspective on it. So I wanted to take a look again and see his thoughts on kind of artistry.
Yeah, I don't really schedule anything. I like to think of myself less as an entrepreneur and more as an artist. I think it's very hard to schedule creativity and creative bursts. So there'll be some days where I make 3 videos in one day, and then I just won't for the next 3 days. And I think I'm okay with that because I think that's just the way that my mind works and allows me to make my best work. And I know there's plenty of people out there that are really good at scheduling and making good content because they have that system. But for me, I've always found just going with the flow has been a lot better for me.
If you're creative as well, I would love to know in the comments what you think. But I mean, personally, I completely agree. You can't schedule, or C says, schedule creativity. It doesn't work like that. And I think one thing that I've learned just from the last 6 months of working on video editing and content consistently, on top of the work I've done as a musician or anything else creative, is that you just can't force that. You can't force the thoughts to come up. And I think the more you try to force those creative thoughts and mindsets and abilities to come up, the more it all just feels like noise. And maybe that's just me personally, but I don't think it is. Maybe I'm just not as creative as some other people. But for me, I know I can talk from my experience that when you try to force it, it doesn't feel authentic. It feels more like some late stage capitalistic gibbity gobbity goop of just put something out to put something out, instead of this came from the heart and the mind and my hands, you know? So let creativity come when it comes. Maybe don't try to force it so much. There's things you can do that will help guide that process more, like journaling every single night, making sure that you're being physically active, working out a couple days a week, trying to get as much sleep as possible. I think all those things contribute to a more healthy and helpful creative mindset overall that it can lead to more output. Output not in a mechanistic way, but in a organic way. I think it's easy to like you said, look at content or creativity as something you just have to churn out like an entrepreneur, but you also have to consider that creative side and the time and unseen effort that comes along with that as well.
These speaker companies, and that kind of led down the path of creating content for those companies. And I wanted to take all this knowledge that I had learned, take all these skills and put them together.
Now, before I get too deep into this clip, Kevin Kennedy, he is seriously an amazing content creator, musician, filmmaker, and he has traveled around the entire world. I believe he said he's gone to like 93 countries, creating songs in those countries, creating relationships in those countries, and yeah, just building something amazing. He does have his own couple channels. One just is Kevin Kennedy, and the other one is On 7, where he goes and makes a song on all 7 continents, including Antarctica, by the way. Yeah, uses the sound and the earth from those continents and the people to make something special.
So I went down this path of writing a song on each continent, and I finished that. My hope was to sell that, to distribute that through Netflix or Amazon.
Yeah.
That never happened, so I put it on YouTube.
Uh-huh.
And once it was on YouTube, I was like, I really just want to continue down this path of creating more documentaries. I call them, they're 30-minute episodes to 40-minute episodes in each country. And that's very different than the short form that you're creating for TikTok, I think, and Instagram. But for me, I love the long form story, and I love going deeper into the cultures. And
yeah, I mean, Kevin was just an extremely impressive dude. I mean, he's traveled all over the world creating music with strangers and recording all these amazing sounds and noises, and it just go check out his On 7 documentary. The channel is literally called the On 7 Show. I think he has around 5,000 subscribers, but he deserves so many more. His work is brilliant. So this was less about talking about a theme or a point I had, and more of just saying, go check out Kevin. Awesome dude, amazing story, love what he's doing. And I loved our conversation. And go check out the rest of this conversation, because it really gave me a more in-depth idea of what culture even is, how music fits into culture, how relationships are built even across culture. It's just so good. So Kenya is another friend of mine. We actually met playing pickleball together like 2 years ago, and he is a content creator that has quite literally blown up a lot, and in the last year especially. And the question I asked him is, what do you think worked for you to have all this growth? So let's take a look.
It's because I had a lot of insecurities on my own. Like, it was like, I don't really want to showcase myself. I don't want to make jokes. Like, people are going to think, excuse me, like I'm just dumb, like I'm not going to do this. So like, it was a lot of like, I think I was posting good content, but it was very much like I was lying to myself, because people will like sit there and tell you with a straight face, like, don't do it for the money. I'm like, what do you think I'm here? Like, it's like, I
So true. Why do you think I'm here? Like, obviously, I personally as well, I want to build a community, make an impact, grow a business, but also like, I got bills to pay, like he's about to say.
I hear you, but at the end of the day, like, I need to make money, and I really struggled with that.
It's so true, because there is this sentiment online, I feel like, where people go, oh, just don't be in social media content making for the money, but also like, it's a very lucrative business if you make it, and I got bills to pay, I got a wife to pay for soon. So a very interesting point that I thought he laid on there.
Like, it was the point where I was like, yeah, of course I like making videos. I wouldn't be doing it for making videos, but like, you can't sit here and tell me like when I have bills that I shouldn't care about
exactly.
like the rest. And the craziest thing with like recently is I made a video, the first video I made where I was like, I love this video. Like, cool. I would watch.
We're gonna watch a little bit more of this for a second, but I do just want to say, you when you first start making content, you will almost certainly go through a either short or long phase where you don't necessarily love the content you make, just because you have this vision, this ideal of what you think it'll look like and what you think it'll end up looking like, versus what you're currently able to produce, like what, to the best of your ability, what you can make. And the distance and the gap between what you can currently make and to what you actually see in your vision in your head will take time of going like this and like this and like this. And sometimes your vision may go from here to there, and you have to slowly tick to it better and closer. But there will be a pretty lengthy phase, most likely, where what you can make and what you want to make are not the same thing. So the fact that Kenya even got to a point where he made a video and said, I authentically love this, is because it's something that I made, that is something that I'm passionate about, that I genuinely believe is the vision, not just what he thought he could make, but what he did make. Those two things came together. So I think that's why he started blowing up, and that's just the authenticity through all that, and just through his personality, all the things. He finally let himself shine through, and that's
I watched it over maybe
Mhm.
like 20 times before I
Nice.
posted it.
Mhm.
It was 3 minutes and 20 seconds long.
Mhm.
I remember that very specifically because when I went to post it on Instagram,
Mhm.
Instagram told me, like, before I should have screenshotted it. That's one regret I don't have. But like, it said before I posted it, it said, videos longer than 3 minutes typically don't do well. We advise making your videos shorter. And I remember being like, dang, like, people are gonna hate this video. No one's gonna. I hadn't thought about it. Like, no one's gonna watch a 3-minute video on social media. Like,
Yeah.
why would anyone do that? I posted it. I think
Kenya. Thankfully, he was wrong.
it got like 1 million views in a day.
Whoa.
And I literally, like, it changed the way I thought. Like, I was like, that is my favorite video I've ever made. If everyone hated it, I'll still be in my room laughing at it.
Yeah.
And like,
Yeah, that's what I mean. Even if no one else liked it, he says, he would still love it. That's all it is. That's all it is. So yeah, that was awesome. I just want to take a second to go back and enjoy some old podcasts with you. Some cool moments that I thought were just fantastic. And I'll be excited to see what guests we have on in 2026 and what awesome lessons we can learn from that as well. So the last thing that I really wanted to talk about is what I see that's next for this channel going into 2026. I will make a New Year's Day video that's maybe not as highly edited, that talks a little bit more about plans, but I'm also going to do a little bit here. Well, first of all, like, thank you so much for the growth that we've seen in 2025. I knew we'd get here. I didn't know exactly how we'd get here. So I love exactly how it's happened. I wouldn't have it any other way. So genuinely from the bottom of my heart, thank you so much for the growth that you've helped me achieve in 2025. And I'm really just unbelievably excited and grateful and blessed to have this opportunity in front of me to grow and see where social media can take us, you know? So in 2026, I have some pretty big goals that I would love to hit. And kind of here's what they are. So first of all, get monetized on each of the 3 big platforms, that being TikTok, YouTube, IG, Instagram. If I could be pulling in money from all those creator funds, getting any monetization types on there, that'd be fantastic. That's big 2026 goal. Another one that I have is to reach 100,000 subscribers on YouTube. Now, with the growth that we've seen for the last 6 weeks, did a little bit of typing it into Chat GPT and said, hey, we're gaining somewhere between 200 to 400 subscribers a day. Sometimes there's an outlier. I'll gain 1,000. Just depends on the day. I said, how long do you think it'll take me to reach 100,000 subscribers on YouTube? So on the long end, we're looking about 15 months. If I just stay about 200 subscribers a day, it took about 15 months to get there. But if we gain about 400 subscribers on average a day, we are looking at about 7 months. And that's not even considering any like actual linear growth. Literally just if we stay exactly where we are, which I don't think we will. I'm pretty sure I'll have some video actually go pretty viral in the next 2 to 3 months. Yeah, 7 to 15 months to be at 100,000 subs. What a dream that would be. So, big goal for 2026 is to reach 100,000 subscribers. And then on top of that, just to make content creation, make YouTube, make social media, make that my full-time job. Full-time. I want to be a full-time content creator. I'd love to make enough money to where that's actually possible and where I could have that in my life. And yeah, I mean, that's the next big step for me, is to just have this be what I do full time. I'm doing all this on top of another job where I work 30 to 40 hours a week. So difficult, and I'll stick around as long as I need to make this work. But that's a big goal. And then the last thing that I wrote down that I'd really like to have as a big, pretty lofty goal for 2026 is to grow the Discord community to over 500 members. We are currently sitting at 112 as of the day I'm reporting, as of Friday the 12th. Yeah, if we could have that at 500 members by the end of 2026, that'd be pretty cool. The community is amazing there. I love what's happening there. I think it's cool. I think it's fun to make these friends and have these followers that are actually truly believing and loving what I do. They love what I 22. That's crazy. But yeah, just an awesome opportunity. And I cannot wait to see what happens in 2026, y'all. It's gonna be a fantastic year. And yeah, I mean, like, praise God, you know? Praise God. What an awesome, awesome thing to have in front of me and have in front of y'all too. I'm excited to see how y'all will be able to join in on the channel and collaborate with me and what brand deals we'll be able to get and how many followers we'll be able to gain. And not in like a vain me, gimme kind of way. Just in a seeing the dream come to fruition in a way that genuinely helps artists, creatives, or anyone achieve their dreams, while at the same time being financially lucrative and an enjoyable career path for me. That would be amazing. And whether or not any of that happens, God is still good. I've had this amazing opportunity and I love what I've been given, and I'm truly grateful, even if I don't really know how to feel that sometimes. So, I mean, thank you so much for listening to me yap and yap for probably the last, I don't know how long this video will end up being. I'm going to assume 20 to 40 minutes, maybe less. I wouldn't imagine it's longer than 40 minutes, but thanks for listening to me yap. Thank you for 10,000 subscribers. Whether we are on that number by the day I release this or not, it'll be right around that. Truly a blessing. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you in the next video. Let's hit the next goal. The next goal is 25K. So let's hit that by tomorrow. I don't know. But thank you so much for watching Passion Projects. We will see you again soon. And until then, love you guys. Thank you. Bye.